Hello guys, NautoAce here, and this is gonna be a quick vlog. Basically, well, I want to give my thoughts on the NES Classic Collection Mini NES. Yes, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. It was Wednesday, Thursday. That's it. Thursday was announced from Nintendo that this November they're gonna come out with a new console. No, it's not the NX or the portable NX part or whatever. It's basically Nintendo's version, an official Nintendo product, plug and play called the Mini NES Classic Collection. So you already been hearing about this. IGN talked about it. It's on Go Nintendo, whatever. And yeah, it's basically a mini NES. It's the size of your hand, so it's kind of cute. It's a mini NES, and it has two connectors. So if you can notice, like the connector for the Wiimote, because the thing's gonna come a classic controller, but an NES classic controller, an NES replica, but it's not like the original one. It's gonna be attached to the NES, or if you can use it on the Wii or the Wii U, the Wiimote. So when I heard about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, a plug and play from Nintendo, and basically it's 30 games, and you can play and you can connect it HDMI cable, and you get a controller, and apparently this one uses an AC adapter via USB, which is kind of weird rather than its own power. Apparently that's what they said, and I'm gonna explain about the specs, and not really the specs but the feature, because people did ask, hey, what are the features of this mini NES? Is it gonna do this and do that? And I'll explain it later. So the first thing is how much it's gonna cost. Well, according to Nintendo, is $60. It comes with, of course, the mini NES with 30 games built in, a classic NES controller Wiimote style, and an AC adapter. Maybe an HDMI cable, maybe not, who knows, but HDMI cables are now cheap. Unlike in 2006. But still, there's a lot of question with that one. And also, if you want a second NES controller, they're $10, so there you go. But if you're gonna use it for the Wii U, for the virtual console, you're probably gonna have to only use it for the NES one, and that's it. Okay, the first of all is $60. Yeah, the same price as a new Wii U game. So, do you really want to get this? Am I going to get one? For me personally, because I love Nintendo, I'm a Nintendo fanboy to some extent. I grew up with Nintendo. Probably because, I like the NES. I used to, play a lot of time with my original NES. But is this for everyone? Oh boy. Right now, really, probably not. And here's why I say that. The factor for this mini NES is it's a nostalgia factor. It's people who grew up with the NES, people who played with the NES. Once again, they can have that. They can relieve the experience of playing an NES with the NES controller. I say I like it, but I don't have that nostalgic feeling. Some people do. So what about the new generation? People who started with the Wii or the Wii U. Will they like this? Well, it's more of a historical perspective, because now they can say, "Oh, this is what Nintendo's all about." Before they came with the 3D, with the HD graphics, and the Wii U, that's gonna be hard to sell on the new generation. The nostalgia, hey, you got it, you got me. Hey, heck, even so, Fox Media said he wants one. Phil Spencer, basically, and I think a lot of people are gonna get this because again, it's $60. It's the same price of a Wii U. And heck, if this goes pre-order at Amazon with the Amazon Prime, hey, guess what? You'll be surprised if it has that Amazon Prime price, 20% off. It'll be $48. There you go. But again, who knows? So yes, so it is nostalgic factor for it, but it is cool. 30 games, and the games they come here are one of the popular ones. That's the reason why they're there. They put in, well, of course, you got the Nintendo game, the 2 Zelda game, the 3 Mario Brothers game, Balloon Fight Against was popular. It was developed by the Lady Wada. Final Fantasy, the first RPG for the NES. Surprisingly, Mega Man 2, no surprise, because one of the all-time favorite Mega Man is Mega Man 2, so that's what's in the game. There is one sports game, Tecmo Bowl. Double Dragon 2, I guess, is the most popular Double Dragon for the NES times. Yeah, there's a lot of games. I mean, if you want to list, they have an official website. A lot of people already talked about it, so I don't really need to list all 30 of them. But the point, those 30 that there are the most popular one, the most that sold a lot, and that people know, like, oh, I know that game, Ninja Gaiden, boom. Oh, Final Fantasy, the first JRPG for the NES. Oh, Double Dragon 2, I guess, is more popular than Double Dragon 1. In my opinion, Double Dragon 1 was better than 2. My opinion only. So, there you go. Now, here's the factor that a lot of people are thinking. Wow, what if it's cool if it has an external storage slot, either whether on a USB we can use an external hard drive, or just a USB slot we can put in, add more new games. We can just buy them from the eShop and add them for the NES collection. The bad news is, nope. A Nintendo representative just said, one, no external source is going to be in it. Whatever the 30 games in that mini NES, that's it. Screw you, Nintendo. That's a missed opportunity. Okay, second, USB. Why not? Again, missed opportunity, but I kind of get a bit of an idea why they didn't do it. Well, one is it's a possibility of cannibalism. Maybe it'll hurt the NX because, oh, if I want to play virtual console game, I'll just use that mini NES. Second, $60 is cheap, may be good for that price. If they put those features in, like an external slot for an SD card, or have a feature to go USB, and probably the cost is gonna go up. That's not already good. All right, so here's another one. Oh, that's the slot open. Well, it's a freaking mini NES, so I don't think it can fit an NES cartridge there. I mean, it's small. It's not a control deck. It's a mini control deck. So one of the complaints that people had that, oh, I can't play my NES game that I had from 1990 or before. They stopped making NES games like in 1995, 96. Just saying. So one of the complaints they had was, oh, I can't use my old one. Again, I can understand because, again, unless you have the NES and you're the nostalgia guy, then why are you going to buy a new NES cartridge? You don't. You got to go to eBay. You got to go to the flea market, a retro store. You got an idea. And again, the same thing when I set up the external slot for either SD card or a USB storage. That's probably going to cost up again. So they're trying to minimum size for 60. There you go. I can understand, but it is at the same time, it is a screw you. And here's the worst part. Does it connect to the internet? Nope. They said, nope, that's not connect to the internet, sadly. So the question, if it doesn't connect to the internet, there's no online feature, will it integrate with the Nintendo ID account? Or better yet, my Nintendo account? And unfortunately, they said was, well, we're not talking about that. It's too soon. Whatever. They even trying to talk about text and specs. They said, we're not talking about that. So again, a big screw you. I don't know why you keep it secret. But to me, it looks like a plug-and-play NES. That's all it is. So yeah, it's kind of stuck. Oh, 30 games and that's it. So my hypothesis here that will they do another one of this? Possibility. They might do a volume 2. A mini NES Classic Collection volume 2. Maybe just for haha, they'll make it the NES 2 version. Or maybe there's even a Famicom version with all the Famicom games, all 30 of them or whatever. And again, it's going to be just there. So they're probably going to say, oh, now the plug and play 2 version or 3. I mean, yeah, you've seen this all the time. So here's another question about this plug and play thing. Why is this a big deal? Why is we're excited for the NES, but this has been done before? The Atari, the Coleco, the Sega Genesis, Sega Master, and even the non-licensed one like Big Al had. so NES or whatever. Why is that not cool, but the Mini NES Classic Collection is? The answer for that one, I have to say, is it's from Nintendo, and it's an official from Nintendo, and it has a nostalgic feeling because the Mini NES is cute. I grew up with the NES. I remember I was a Nintendo kid, not a Sega kid, so a Sega Genesis, I'm like, meh. And also, second is, you can play them in the computer, if you know what I mean. But also, time and time again, they've been released to compilation. Same goes with the Atari Anthology for the PS2. There's one for the PSP. And then this coming October 2016, there's going to be an Atari collection for the PS4. There's one for the Steam, an Atari collection with same deal with improvements. There you go. Genesis, same deal. ColecoVision, not a lot of people grow with the ColecoVision. I know Microsoft did it with the Game Room, with the 360. That kind of failed because it was just too expensive. Their version of the Virtual Console it didn't really work. What else? So yeah, I mean it is. I even have like plug and play the Minosaur, the Sega Master, and then like and even Pac-Man. There's like multiple versions of Namco Bandai's arcade classical Namco Museum. There's a Pac-Man version. There's a new version of Pac-Man with more games. There's the Namco Museum style. But it doesn't have that feeling that the NES won. That's why the NES Mini Classic Collection Mini NES Control Deck, it has that nostalgia because the majority of gamer grew up in Nintendo like myself. Like I said, if it wasn't for Nintendo, there wouldn't be a video game. Genesis, like I said, you could probably get one cheap, $40 tops, that comes with 3 Mortal Kombat game, but again, you never know, you can get it cheap. Same goes with the Atari, Flashback, they've been doing it multiple times, the ColecoVision, and they're like $40 top, but this one's $60 because again, it's Nintendo. But maybe there are new features, but right now, like I said, maybe there is new feature. Maybe it does connect to my Nintendo account. Who knows? Right now, they're just not saying anything about it. But yeah, so will I get one? Yeah. Will people buy this? The people who grew up with Nintendo, the nostalgic one, definitely. Somebody who's new to Nintendo, probably not, sadly. But again, it's a cute Mini NES that you can hold in one hand. It's so cute. And you can bring it anywhere. That's easy. But again, unless you love the NES really, really much, yeah, it's just a nostalgia factor here. I mean, we'll see what happens when there's more feature coming in. But right now, they're not really saying much. They're just saying the only official thing they said was it doesn't connect to the internet or doesn't have any internet feature. Doesn't have extra storage, so you can't add more games, so you won't be adding more games. And lastly, it doesn't have the NES connector, so you can play your old games. That's what it's a retro card for a reason. There you go. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Nintendo Mini NES Classic Collection Mini Control Deck. And with that, thanks for listening.